Parashat Shmini, 27 April 2025. For several chapters now, we have read of the instructions for building the sanctuary, the details of the sacrificial offering, and all the preparations for the moment when the visible home God's presence on earth would be realized. The entire people were involved and had participated in its construction, while an awesome event has occurred. Our parashah begins with a joyous community celebration where the Aaron's four sons will be the intermediaries for the community in its service. Only within a moment this great celebration is turned into a shocking tragedy. We read of this terrifying scene. Aaron's sons Nadav and Avihu took the censors, put fire into them, and added incense, and they offered an unauthorized fire before God, which he had not instructed them to offer. Fire came forth before God and consumed them so that they died before God. The says searched for explanation and opened many possible reasons as to why this had happened. Had the sons entered the Holy of Holies, or had they not worn the proper clothing? Had they not consulted one another? Or were they impatient to assume leadership? Was it a former sin or a character flaw? Many midrashic interpretations were explored, especially since this event is recorded on four other occasions: Leviticus and Numbers. However, the simplest explanation is explicit in the Torah itself. Nadav and Abihu died because they had offered an unauthorized fire. What was the source of this fire? Some commentaries suggest that it was a fire not taken from the altar, which would symbolize a break in the divinely ordained process. As the text examines, it becomes clear that the Aaron's sons had disobeyed, had acted in something that was not commanded. We may think that their action was not an act of reverence, rather a sign of disregard for the holiness of God, but the following quotation expresses another view. They could not be satisfied with the rituals and sacrifices, but had to draw so close to God that they were consumed by the strange fire in their souls. To understand the significance of this, we need to remind ourselves of the meaning of Kadosh, holy. The term in Hebrew conveys the idea of being set apart and encompasses God's attributes of justice, love, and mercy. God's holiness is a source of awe and reverence and fundamental to understanding God's character. It is associated with bringing life or connecting with the divine through people, places, and rituals. Central to Israel, the call to be holy is securing them in the scriptures, reflected in the laws given to Israel. God's holiness is a fundamental principle of Israel's identity and worship. The function of holiness is for the person to grasp he or she in the presence of God, the Eternal. One enters this holy space in time in humility, realizing that they are creatures made in the image of God. Humankind has been empowered by God to be partner in the work of creation, and therefore God values of human will, aspiration, and human initiative. This story of Nadav and Abihu reminds us of another set of brothers, Cain and Abel. In offering God the fruits of their labors, which should be a time of joy and thanksgiving, it also turned into tragedy. The first act of worship to let the first murder. What in my life reflects the holiness of God? What impact has God's holiness in my daily life?